Hello everyone, I am from the group 3. Together with my group mates, we will be going to discuss the different concept theories of changing education paradigms. We highlighted 6 concept theories, which is our main topic for today's presentation. But before we will go to our main topic, let us first define what is changing education paradigms. Changing paradigms of education talks about the current education system. Every country is bringing about changes in its education system, which is a dire need of the day. It is time for society and schools to change their mindset and establish a new standard for what teaching and learning look like in order to meet the demands of today's world. We need our children and students to make sense of their world, a world very different from the one we experience. So the next slides will be 6 concept theories that we highlighted for today's topic.
Cultural identity refers to the identification with a sense of belonging to a particular group based on various cultural categories. It includes rituals, norms, values, symbols, language, and artifacts. Cultural identity plays a significant role in determining a person's welfare. A sense of security and belonging is experienced by the people when they identify with a certain culture. Access to social networks that offer support and common values and aspirations is another benefit of cultural acceptance. Embracing your cultural identity can increase your sense of fulfillment, connection to yourself, your relationship, and your loved ones, as well as your sense of self-assurance. You might become friends with people who share your interests. You will become more open to people from varied backgrounds and more positive as a result of this.
Alienating. Education crucially supports successful participation in society and develop the existing body of knowledge. A knowledge based on skills acquired through schooling provide individuals opportunities to act effectively in a rapidly changing world. However, there is a substantial evidence that students' intrinsic academic motivation and interest in learning at school significantly decline over time. In other words, adolescents whose environments do not fulfill their needs are more likely to become psychologically and physically disengaged and eventually alienated from school. That's why there's a study that introduces a new multidimensional perspective on school alienation to identify students' negative attitudes toward classmates, teachers, and learning during primary and secondary education.
We medicate our kids to get them through education. First is the modern epidemic, or the ADHD. ADHD means attention deficient hyperactivity disorder. It's a condition that affects people's behavior. Second is give positive attention. Positive playtime reduces attention-seeking behavior, and it will make your consequences more effective. The third one is give effective instruction. Before giving directions, get your child's full attention. The last one is praise your child. Catch your child doing something good and praise them. Children with ADHD respond positively to praise, and frequent feedback is essential.
Aesthetic experience. The power of aesthetics can be harnessed to raise living standards. Our focus on our routine daily experiences obscures the beauty possibilities of everyday items and activities. The ordinary attitude we have toward everyday aesthetic is the most significant aspect, and it has 5 key features. First, we have the interest in the experience for its own sake. Second is beauty and judgment. Third is beauty and simplicity. Next is ambience. The last one is being moved by beauty. So the most important factor for the everyday aesthetics is the typical attitude we can take toward them. Once we experience them with a different attitude, we can discover their hidden aesthetic values. This means learning to appreciate the mundane activities in our daily life as extraordinary.
The education system is rooted in an industrial paradigm. Schools have been doing the same thing the same way for so long that there is a deep-rooted paradigm for what teaching and learning look like. The current paradigm was put into practice during the industrial age, and it is outdated because life in the real world no longer relies on the kind of memorization skills that are critically for life on production lines. It is time for society and schools to change their mindset and establish a new standard for what teaching and learning look like in order to meet the demands of today's world. New technologies are transforming every aspect of work, and schools must prepare students for the changing world. Schools need to embrace an active hands-on, minds-on student-centered teaching approach that is enhanced with technology and focuses on student understanding. Educators must prepare students for the ever-changing world and implement teaching practices that foster just-in-time learning and promote critical thinking and complex problem-solving of real-world situations.
The next theory is education system kills creativity. In divergent thinking, creativity enhances a better individual perspective, encourage the students to ask questions. So there was a great study done recently on divergent thinking in which it is an essential capacity for creative thinking. So what is creativity? Creativity is about self-imagination, self-expression, and divergent thinking, in which students can enhance and develop their ways of thinking to create new things. So how do you incorporate divergent thinking in the classroom? One simple yet effective way to help students think divergently is by asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are defined as the ones that cannot be answered by yes or no. The more open a question is, the more likely students will be able to come up with different answers. So how can teachers encourage divergent thinking in their students? It allows the students to share their ideas with each other so that they can gain a better understanding of others' perspectives and thought processes.